Hello and welcome to Brewers Daily, part of the Fan Arch Podcast Network. This episode is brought to you by Kalshi. Use promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. I'm Dave Gasper. Oh my goodness, that series in San Diego was awful. It started awful. It ended awfully. Just terrible. Flush it, move on. But I mean, we still got to talk about it here, but my goodness, so much to break down from this whole series here with the Brewers and the Padres. They lose all three. One of them was blowout fashion. The other two were kind of more heartbreaking fashion. I mean, you have Logan Henderson pitching really well, give up a home run, lose by one, tough one. Then you have the blowout, and then you have whatever it was that happened on Wednesday, a game that they should have won. You have traffic all over the bases. You're not really able to scratch a ton across, but you have a 2-1 lead for most of this game. And then next thing you know, you give it up. It's a tie game. You have some mental mistakes, some defensive mistakes that keep on piling up there. You have some offensive, some base running mistakes. You get to extra innings, and Luis Lara makes throw home. It's a little bit high, but Gary Sanchez kind of slow getting up, getting the tag down. The ball beat him there. The ball beat the runner there, but not able to get the tag down in time, so he's safe. Padres walk-off winner. Chad Patrick didn't have his best stuff, so you're just kind of looking all over the place, and there are just so many missed opportunities to win this game. So many miscues that if you just handle one or two of those correctly, you end up winning this game. And the Brewers mishandled all of them, and they just watched a whole series slip away here. I mean, you lose 3 in a row in this series, and of course, it's right around the exact time that you start losing some key pieces. Obviously, Cooper Pratt on the injured list, not good. Not good news for this team. And you got Jackson Chourio dealing with something. So apparently, Pat Murphy misspoke when he said that Bryce Terang was dealing with a bit of a thumb issue. I was like, no, it wasn't Bryce Terang. It was Jackson Chourio. I misspoke. Chourio, Terang, those names are totally similar. Easy to get those guys mixed up. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of a late night or something there for Murphy and just kind of talking about his guys. But still, this team is banged up. But the offense, even without Cooper Pratt, I mean, it's not like Cooper Pratt was that essential on the offensive end. I mean, he was hitting 8th or 9th. He was hitting near the bottom of the order most of the time. It's the middle of the order that hasn't been supplying much production, and that is what's leading to these losses, because you're not going to win very many games where you only score 2 runs, or 3 runs. You're not going to win too many of those, no matter how good your pitching is. So you got to be able to do that, and you have to be able to hit with runners in scoring position, which is not what they did. When they have runners in scoring position, that is risky business for the Brewers, and they just were not able to come through. 3 for 28 in this series. 3 for 28. That's how bad it was. 328. I mean, this is Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl all over again. 28-3. 28 opportunities, 3 hits. Not good. No bueno. Very bad. You do the math here, pull up a calculator. That is a whopping 107 batting average. 107 is what they're batting with runners in scoring position in that series. Now, this has been a problem kind of throughout the season. I mean, there have been stretches where they have just been awful with runners in scoring position. And there have been times where they've been good with it too. Because, I mean, they are 5th in the league in runs. So they have scored runs. They have put up runs. But they go through stretches like this where they just simply cannot deliver with guys in scoring position. And that's what they're in right now, and that is very frustrating to go through. And just kind of seeing some of the quotes coming to the locker room. Jake Bauers talking about the struggles on the offensive end, and especially the running and scoring position. Jake Bauers said, it seems to be, we're trying to make it happen, which of course is just a human thing, right? So I just think we need to chill the F out a little bit. Well said, Jake. Well said. They just need to chill the F out a little bit. Be more relaxed in the box. I mean, you're pressing too hard. You're trying too hard to deliver. Like, you understand, like, okay, yeah, you gotta run around second, run around third, whatever it is. You want to produce, you want to deliver. So you kind of like you grip the bat a little bit tighter, thinking it's going to help you, and it doesn't. It just doesn't. You think it helps. You think it would, but it doesn't. To grip the bat a little bit tighter, to try and swing a little bit harder. It doesn't help you come through. And so it's largely a mental thing, it seems like. I mean, they are pressing a little bit too much to try and get out of it. William Contreras is in a slump and has been for a month and a half. Christian Yelich is in a slump and has been for a month and a half. And it's just, you got other guys trying to pick him up, and, sometimes you try too hard to pick another guy up, and that just leads to other issues. And just overall, you can't have those kinds of struggles. And apparently, after this game here in San Diego, so even though like this is a getaway day, so the Brewers have a flight to catch. They're going up to Los Angeles for this one. They got a trip to make. They held a team meeting, a 15-minute team meeting. It sounds like after the game, just kind of talk about where they're at and what things are going on. Because even with all these struggles, even with just getting swept by the Padres, they still have the best record in baseball. And it's like, I mean, you're sitting here in mid-August, you have the best record in baseball. Like, that's still pretty good. I mean, all the things that they've had to go through to still be in that spot, like, yes, that's great, but that was a very rough series. There were a lot of miscues that we don't normally see this team make. But also, at the same time, we're in the dog days here. Like, this is mid-August. Like, these are the dog days here of the regular season, where you have had, like you've played 4.5 months of baseball already. Spring training reported 6 months ago. Like that was February. That spring training that you had pitchers and catchers report. 6 months. And you are in the dog days now. You still have a month and a half to go of the regular season. So you're not quite at the finish line quite yet. You can't quite see that light at the end of the tunnel. There's still so much more to do. I mean, you've got this stretch here without any off days. I think that's also contributing to the wear and tear on this team right now. But that's what's contributing to a lot of this. You're in that part of the season. You go through some kind of lulls here like this. They're frustrating to go through, but it's part of it. It's part of playing 162. Not every game is going to be sunshine and rainbows. But by and large, it's been more sunshine and rainbows than any other team because, again, they still have the best record in baseball at this point. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind. But there is no denying this was an incredibly ugly series for the Brewers in San Diego. They just do not play well out west, whatever it is. But you had two very close losses with the Padres here and one absolute blowout loss. But that very easily could have been 2 wins in this series, and it was not. Instead, they got nothing from it. So that's tough. But you get back on that horse. You get back on it because there's another day. There's a new day. There's a new game, and you can trade every single game on Kalshi, as you guys know, throughout the season here. And the Brewers making their next trip here to Los Angeles, taking on the Dodgers. So not exactly the team you want to be facing when things aren't going well. And that is kind of what the trend line is even showing here on Kalshi. Because if you look at it, I mean, the Brewers have typically been favored just kind of in a straight up to win on Kalshi here for most of these games over the course of the regular season. But in this one, they're a bit more of a heavy underdog, which after the team meeting and maybe figuring some things out, maybe the Brewers can be getting themselves back on track. So the Brewers are currently trading at a 44% chance to win this game against the Dodgers here tonight. That means a $100 trade pays out $223 with a win. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10, Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on anything. Okay, even though the Brewers still have the best record in baseball, coming off this 3-game sweep, the division lead is getting narrower and narrower. The Cubs continue to win, sadly. Hate those guys, but the division lead is down to just 3 games here for the Milwaukee Brewers. So this thing is going to come down to the wire. The Cubs made a lot of improvements at the trade deadline. They really reinforced their pitching staff as they needed to do. And the Cubs, they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're coming off a series sweep of their own, really. The Cubs, who were playing, who were they ended up playing here? The Nationals. They beat the Nationals and swept them. So the Cubs are up to 71 wins. The Brewers are at 74. They still have the best record in baseball, yes, but the Cubs are gaining on them quite a bit here. So you're at this tough stretch in the season. That's why when we talked about the stretch coming out of the All-Star break, the Brewers needed to bank as many of those wins as possible because you were going to have some tough stretches here, and that's what the Brewers are in right now. They are in a bit of a tough stretch. So they're going to have to try and hold off the Cubs, who are hard charging. The Cubs are just 1 win behind the Dodgers. The Dodgers actually have the third best record among division leaders. The Brewers have 74 wins, the Braves have 73, and the Dodgers have 72. So the Dodgers would be in the wild card series at this point, and the Cubs are at 71. So they are right behind. It is all right in a row here atop the National League. And the Cubs, again, they're hard charging. They're gaining here on the Brewers. I mean, this is absolutely a 2-horse race for the division. The Cardinals have fallen back. They're 61-60. They're 13 games out, and they're the next closest team there. So it is the Brewers and the Cubs, once again, that it's going to come down to in this division. And Cubs are playing really good baseball right now. The Brewers are not. So that does just kind of add to the anxiety and the concern among the fan base here because, I mean, it's the Cubs. It's them trying to chase you down. It's been nice having that 5.5, 6 game lead or so over the Cubs for most of the summer here. I mean, they've kept them largely at arm's length, but now the Cubs are kind of shortening that up here, and the Brewers are going to need to go on a run and have the Cubs kind of fall back a little bit in order to put them back at arm's length. But it's hard to feel super confident in going on that run when you're about to face the powerhouse that is the Los Angeles Dodgers. So that does add to the concern here. A lot that's going to happen here over these next 6 weeks because this division, it is not going to be a guarantee that the Brewers win this division again. The Cubs have made some improvements and they are going on a bit of a run. But it all starts with these next games here against the Dodgers. So let's look ahead to this series. And the pitching matchups are out. And my goodness, there are some really, really intriguing ones in this series. Granted, the Dodgers have a fantastic rotation, as do the Brewers. But it's going to be quite the headlines here for this group. Let's start with the game here tonight. Shane Drowan is on the bump for Milwaukee, and the young Japanese flamethrower Roki Sasaki will be starting for the Dodgers. Sasaki, the right-hander, 5-5 record, 4.54 ERA. So 4.5 ERA, hasn't been dominant, but that is the game here tonight. And then you get to Friday, and then you have the other Japanese ace who has been dominant, Yoshi Yamamoto, 11-7, 2.65 ERA for Yamamoto, last year's World Series MVP. And he'll be going up against the Brewers' other left-hander, Robert Gasser. Gasser, 4.57 ERA on the season. That'll be your Friday night matchup. Saturday is Miz Day. Jacob Mizorowski on the bump for the Brewers, 11-5, 1.76 ERA. And then the Dodgers will be throwing their left-hander, Justin Wrobleski, 11-4. He was an All-Star this year, 11-4, 3.44 ERA. So Wroblewski getting the start there for the Dodgers on Saturday. And then Sunday. Sunday is going to be the day of storylines and narratives and all the fun eyeballs and attention. Because even though it's not Jacob Misiorowski Day, it is Tarik Skubal Day. Tarik Skubal starting for the Dodgers on Sunday, the lefty, 2.93 ERA on the season. And the Brewers will have Logan Henderson on the mound. Logan Henderson, the pitcher the Brewers made off limits in a potential Tarik Skubal trade at the deadline. They refused to move him for Skubal. Logan Henderson thanking Matt Arnold for not trading him because he wanted to remain a Brewer. He loves this team. He loves this organization. Tarik Skubal, the ace that everyone wanted the Brewers to get, that the Brewers tried so hard to get, but they were unwilling to move Henderson to do so because they like this kid that much, and they get to duel each other on Sunday. That is going to be appointment watching. That is going to be fantastic baseball. That is going to be where all the storylines, all the narratives are coming to a head. As much as you'd love to see Misiorowski versus Skubal, that'd just be an electric matchup. But in terms of storylines and narratives, Henderson and Skubal is far more fascinating. Far more fascinating. I'm very excited for it. So that is going to be your Sunday afternoon appointment watching here for the Brewers and Dodgers. Skubal versus Logan Henderson. So that'll be a whole lot of fun. This series is going to be interesting. The Brewers really got to get themselves back on track. You got to hit with runners in scoring position. You got to get going on offense. You can't just score 2 runs a game and expect to win a whole lot. You got to push some more across here. So that's what they're going to be looking to do, and they're going to have to do it against the Dodgers pitching staff, which will not be easy. But we'll be breaking it all down here on Brewers Daily, as we always do. Also, follow me on X at dgasper24. I'll be breaking stuff down there as well. Appreciate all of you watching and listening, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of Brewers Daily.